kids before, but they're now all grown up. So, sobrang excited po kami mag-share. Okay? Hindi po kami expert ha. Hindi kami expert. Marami kaming pagkakamali. Na i-share namin yung mga mali namin at yung mga nakita namin okay. Okay? So, parehas po tayo. We are all work in progress. Amen? So, I'm so excited na nakita ko maraming mga daddies nag-attend. Can we see the daddies here?
Daddy.
Yeah. Put up your hands. Wow. Okay, napakahirap dalhin mga dads over here. Now, wives, moms, can you please look to your husbands and tell them, honey, I appreciate you today. Okay, tingnan mo natin. Love, babe, I appreciate you today. Tingnan nyo sa mata, ha? Okay? Kasi, if my wife tells me to attend seminars, ang dami kong palusot, ikaw na lang, puro ikaw na lang, di ba? But you are here today. So, we will make sure yung mga daddies will go home with something. Okay? Wives, do you want your husbands to be a better dad? Yes, we all want to be the best dads, right? Husbands, do you want your wives to be the best moms? Of course, but before that, may share lang ako sa iyo. So, ma'am, can we go to the first slide? So, nakikita niyo ba yung picture dyan? Okay, that was me when I was 8 or 9 years old. So, I was medyo malusog at that time. And then yung nanay ko, dahil ako po yung eldest, during the time there was no internet, so ang kanyang catalog, she had this US catalog, it's called the Sears catalog. So, nandun yung mga damit. So, palagi niya akong gustong bihisan. So, papagawa niya sa tailor yung nakikita niya yung mga damit. Ang nakakatawa lang, ang nakuha niya, winter catalog po. So, palagi akong damit na naka-long sleeves, minsan turtleneck. So, palagi akong pinapawisan sa school. So, para akong clown sa school. So, in short, I was being bullied in school. Okay? So, there is this one guy, his name is Rolly Inis. Okay? Amboy, black belter, and the star of the class. Okay, and ako yung paborito niya. So one day, it was just a normal homeroom session. We were praying. While we were praying, he was behind me. He was whispering in my ear. Sabi niya, baboy, 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 baboy. So can you imagine? Our Father, and he was whispering. So hindi ko na kinayanan all the months of bullying. Right after Amen, tinulak ko siya. When I pushed him, immediately he punched me in the face. Alam mo, totoo yung nakikita niyo sa cartoons na may stars. So I fell to the ground and, medyo nag-blackout ko. But when I stood up, I gathered all my strength. I went over him. Hindi ko na alam yung ginawa ko. Basta lahat ng lakas ko, binuhos ko sa kanya. To make the long story short, dinala po siya sa clinic kasi payat siya eh. I used my weight. I went over him. He couldn't win over me. So dinala siya sa clinic. I went home. I was so excited to tell my dad. Kasi mga kaklase ko, yeah, Johnny, yes, yes. So, kasi marami siyang binuli eh. So I went home, so excited to tell my dad. But alam niyo po, sa probinsya, I grew up in Iligan, way down in Mindanao. People know everyone. So when I went home, I was telling my dad, pero yung dad ko hindi na-excite. Sabi niya, I'm not happy with what you did. Sabi ko, ha? Dad, binubuli ako nun. Sabi niya, no, I think you should say sorry. Hindi maayos yung sinuntok mo. Okay? So, parang kinonsensya niya ako. Sabi niya, you can get mad but do not use physical violence. You should talk to your teacher. So he said, say sorry to him tomorrow. So, kung yari, nagsabi ako, sige dad, okay, ako bahala. But wala akong intention. But because my dad knew my teachers, alam mo yung probinsya, di ba? So when I went back to class, right after school, the teacher called me. At saka si Rolly Inis. Sabi niya, come. Oh, teacher, bakit? Uy, sabi ng dad mo, maghalo-halo tayo. Ayun, yun pala, binili ng dad ko sa teacher ko. So anyways, we went to the halo-halo store. I said sorry without being sincere. The next week, my parents brought me to his house na ayoko. So my parents said sorry to his parents. To make the long story short, within that year, we became best friends. Can you imagine that? We became best friends. I would never have imagined that he would become my best friend. Because I hated him the most, okay? And this is where my father comes into play. this is where I normally hated my father kasi sobrang stricto. Okay, but this time, until now, ang tanda ko na 55 years old, but that lesson resonates through me because he modeled being a great father. He showed me that he was man enough to say sorry to the parents, and he initiated that, and that taught me a very valuable lesson. Okay? So, sino dito gusto maging great dad? Nako, ayaw na. Who wants to be the greatest dad? Okay. Who wants to be the greatest mom? Of course, yeah. But you know what I learned? To be the greatest mom or the greatest dad, we have first to be the best husband and the best wife. You can never be the greatest dad or the greatest wife if you are not the best husband or mom. Best husband or best wife. Okay? Let me show you why. Can we go to the next slide? So, again, ulitin ko, becoming a great father, ito yung learning ko ha. So, if you don't agree, it's okay. But to me, becoming a great father, mother, it always starts by loving your wife or loving your husband. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Tama-tama, lumabas yung asawa ko. I married the woman of my dreams. I courted her for 5 years. Okay, she's actually only 3 years younger than me. Pero alam mo, when we go to the malls, akala nila anak ko. So anyway, sabi ko, okay lang, napakaswerte ko. So I married the woman of my dreams. After 5 years, akala ko nananaginip ako. Nag-iba na yung panaginip ko. Medyo, alam niyo na, in marriage, the 5th, 6th, 7th year, it becomes a struggle, di ba? Naging struggle. Men, if you agree, don't raise your hand, okay? Blink lang. Okay lang tayo, di ba? Okay. Becomes a struggle. I think even for the wives, di ba? You become too familiar, you know, all the bad habits come out, and ano ba to, di ba? And, more importantly, nawawala yung kilig. Wala nang feeling eh. Wala nang feeling, di ba? So anyways, when the feeling is gone, then you start to question, do I still love my wife? Do I still love my husband? Wala nang feeling eh. If you watch the movie, pare, wala nang feeling, wala nang love yan. Di ba? Wala nang love yan. Okay, so, next slide. When we become the best husband and the best wife, we become the role model of our kids. Napapansin niyo ba that your kids are always imitating you? Always, okay? Kahit anong sasabihin niyo sa kanila, anak, bawal to, huwag niyong gawin to. They will never listen to you, but they will always follow your actions. Remember, pag nainitin ang ulo mo sa bahay, ako, sigurado yan. Sa school, okay? Pag malambing ka, malambing yan. My wife is very malambing, so my kids, namana yung pagkalambing, okay? And whatever you do, they will follow what you're doing, not what you're saying. Kahit tama yung, kahit mag-lecture ka dyan, mag-PowerPoint, mag-YouTube ka dyan, papa-attend mo sila sa seminar, they'll never follow that. They will always follow what you do. Your actions speak louder than words. Always remember that you are the superstar of your kids, so they will really idolize you. So keep that in mind. You have to be the role model. So if you're a role model, you have to become the best husband and best wife. Kasi yun yung concept ng love nila eh. They will take the cue on how you love your wife, how you treat your wife, and how the wife treats the husband. Doon nila makikita yung, doon nila i-form yung pagiging lovable nila. Okay, next slide. When I went to the camp of the Special Forces in somewhere up north, when you enter the Special Forces, the first sign you see is the more you train, the less you bleed in battle. The more you train, the less you bleed in battle. You've seen great football players, great basketball players, di ba? Why are they number one? Why is LeBron number one? Why is Steph Curry number one? Bakit po? Bakit? Because they train and they practice every day. Okay? In fact, they spend more time in the gym than at home. So, kung gusto natin maging best husband and best mother, isn't it right na mag-train din tayo? We learn. Tama mo ba? Okay? You cannot become the best husband or best wife if you simply do on-the-job training. Okay? Mga teachers po, I'm sure you have monthly trainings, di ba? You get to learn your profession, right? I come from the sales profession. Every week po, may sales training. Hindi nagkulang sa training. Pero at home, wala po tayong training for dads. We don't have training for moms. We don't have training for husbands. Wala po tayong training for wives. So, on the 5th year, 6th, 7th year, when yung feeling nga nawawala, so I said, okay, how do I? So I came across a good friend who invited us to a couples retreat. Okay, sabi ko, uy, parang okay to, sige. Ayoko sana, but sige, bahala na, okay lang. Baguio naman. So we went to Baguio for a couples retreat. And then, yun yung start ko ng training. So I learned the roles of husband and wife. What's the concept of forgiveness? How do we fill up each other's, how do we make each other feel important? Alam mo, ang ganda na nangyari sa marriage. We'll be 25 years po this May. So praise God, we are, I survived. I survived the first 35 years. Okay, so, last year we attended our 12th couples retreat. So every year, we made it a commitment na instead of biyahe-biyahe kami, why don't we, the two of each other, we leave the kids for a while. So alam ng mga anak namin, once a year, we will go to a couples retreat. And excited sila. Kasi pagbalik namin, loving-loving kami. 1 week lang pala. But anyways, so we get reminded, you know that couples retreat every year, pare-pares po ang lesson. But God reminds us of our role. Okay? Number one, we have a contract that has no condition. So we have to love unconditionally, di ba? Eh total, sumusunod sila, and you want to teach them, then you teach them. So teach them the value of honesty. So in restaurants, if we always check the bill, kasi minsan may nakakalimutan. So we call the waiter, bossing, parang hindi mo na punch yung adobo. Yan. So if your children sees that, then they get the concept that they should also do that pala. So you model honesty, good behavior, being respectful, and they will follow that. Yung wife ko, mahilig sila mag-bless. So yan, nakuha ng mga anak ko. Yan. So, next slide. So again, we must be the best husband. Men, can you raise your hands? Okay? Pwede ba? Repeat after me. Be the best husband. Women, can you please raise your hand? And say, I will be the best wife.
I will be the best wife.
Okay, yes. Okay, for a start, that's good. So next slide. Alam mo, mahirap ang marriage, ha? When we go to a couples retreat, the first week, we're very sweet. The second week, back to normal yan. Okay? You know, the irritation at home, it happens. Okay? It's normal. Normal, di ba? Mga lalaki, gusto mo doon, pero pigil eh. But anyway, normal po yan. But what really joins us together is our reverence for God. Kasi, you know, if you go to weddings, palagi sila, put God in the center of your wedding. So, it never, ano tayo, God-centered. Yun pala, if you love God, it's easy to love your wife. Kasi no matter gaano ka kagalit sa asawa mo, but you love God, okay Lord, sige, liligawan ko ulit kahit siya yung galit. Your actions is towards God, not towards your wife. Okay, you don't react to your wife, but you follow what God is telling you to do. Okay, kasi sabi ni God, mahalin mo yan. Okay, and then maganda yung concept ni God ng love. Okay, I'll show you. Oh, by the way, so don't forget this. Okay, maybe you won't believe, but always think about this. Kakaibang isip to. The ultimate purpose of marriage is not to be happy, but it's to honor God. If you honor God, happiness, joy, peace, faith will all follow. Okay? Basta keep God in mind. God, ano magagawin ko? Hindi ko na siya kaya. Just keep praying, get down on your knees, and then don't react, you respond to all the situation. Okay, later on I'll show you some slide. Next slide po. So, in 1 John 3:18, okay, this is a very powerful verse. It says, love is a verb. Kasi if you watch the movie, love is a feeling, di ba? Yung mga mga Katnill, di ba? Feeling, ay wala na feeling, wala na kami, di ba? Puro feeling. But really, if you look at the dictionary po, love is a verb, it's never a feeling, okay? And it says here, let us not love with words or tongue, okay? Don't love with your words, but with actions and in truth, meaning you have to be sincere, genuine, and direct to the point when you love a person. So, puro action yan. Example, if my wife is irritated at me dahil galit ako, so I make sure I try to make up for it. The next day, I go home early, then may pasalubong. Yan, may konting pasalubong para medyo lumamig yung ulo. Okay? So, we need to, hindi yung, before I would say, gagalit nagtatrabaho nga ako kaya nga trabaho, pangbayad ng kuryente, di ba? So I don't take that on my wife kasi dati inisip ko napaka-selfish niya, di ba? Hirap nga ng trabaho. Hindi naman ako ng bababae. But because I knew this, na ano ko, okay, love is a verb, it's not a feeling. So okay, how do I respond? She's angry. Okay, ito yung gagawin ko. Hindi ako magagalit. I'll just, minsan lulutuan ko na lang siya, di ba? Konting luto-luto. Okay. So yan. Don't forget, love is a verb, not a feeling. Okay? And if you do the action, ito yung maganda, gentlemen. The feeling will follow. Yan ang maganda. Okay? Next. Now, all of us has a imaginary love tank. This is from the book of Dr. Gary Kaufman. Okay, Chapman, sorry. So maybe some of you have encountered this. Later, I'll give you the resource. Very quickly, lahat tayo, your kids, your wife, your teacher, lahat, we have a imaginary love tank. Pag yung love tank na yan empty, like yung kids, pag empty yan, they will misbehave. Okay? They will misbehave. Empty yung love tank, meaning they didn't feel important. So, pag-ano yan. Your wives, pag empty ang love tank, nako, hindi ka papansinin yan. Malamig ang gabi ninyo. Okay? Baka outside na kulambo pa. Guys, so pag empty ang love tank ng misis nyo, dangerous. You have to fill up that love tank. So how do you fill up the love tank of your wife and your kids and even the teachers? Very quickly. Words of affirmation. Ay, sorry ma'am, dito lang. Words of affirmation. So you know, women need encouragement. Sa mga guys, corny yung I love you, but women need to be affirmed every day. I love you, but do it sincerely. Love you. Okay, thank you. Just appreciate anything, any little thing. Appreciate natin. Instead of hanapan natin ng mali. Okay? Women, kayo din. Huwag yung hanapan na hindi namin na-flush yung toilet or yung madamit namin nasa baba. I-appreciate nyo muna yung okay, then saka mo kami pagalitan. Okay? Words of affirmation. And then, receiving gifts or tokens. Okay? You know those little pasalubongs? Okay? So pag galit yung wife ko, I bring milk tea. Pag may milk tea ako, medyo humingiti na yung asawa ko. Kahit galit. Okay, milk tea or whatever, little pasalubong. Okay? So, any little thing that you can think of. I'm sure teachers, you feel important when your students bring you something, di ba? Cooked meal or donut, di ba? Nakakatuwa, di ba? When you receive something. That means you're special, you remember. So your love tank, napupuno. Okay? Next is acts of service. Di ba? When coming here, sabi ko sa wife ko, can you drive for me? I need to fix something. So siya po nag-drive coming here 1 hour. So I appreciated that she drives for me. But actually, every weekend, usapan namin, kung kaya niya, she will drive para ma-relax daw ako. So, yun yung acts of service niya. Ako naman, sige, mamayang gabi, mamasahin kita. Di ba, boys? Alam na, di ba? So, okay. Physical touch. Okay, your kids, alam mo, hugs are free. Okay? Marami tayo, we don't grow up by hugging. Hindi tayo huggers. Ano na lang, anak. But you know, it is one of the most powerful tool of affection. You don't have to say anything. Just hug your kid. Diba? According to research, your kids needs 3 hugs a day for them to feel affirmed by your love. Okay? Pag hindi nyo hinag yan, iba ang mag-hug yan. So, hug them 3 times a day. Make it a habit. Kahit hindi practice nyo, kahit magulat siya, totoo na. Basta hug nyo na. Diba? Pag galit yung asawa ko, hug ko lang, gagawin ko. Hanggang sa mawala yung galit. Diba? Hug your parents. Diba? Hugs. Physical. Okay? Very, very important. Kahit mga students, diba? Teacher, good job. Mga konti ganun, ano na yan, diba? Okay. So, words of affirmation, tokens, gifts, acts of service. Those are things that will fill up the love tanks natin. Okay? What else? Quality time. Okay, quality time. Yes, quality time, very important. Later on, I'll expand on that. So, at home, normally, pag tumitingin ako sa cellphone, my wife will make me sita. Sasabihin ko, kliyente to eh. But because I learned this, so in the dining table, no cell phone. When we go out, no cell phone. So, we just make rules para yung attention, alam mo yun? Kasi, matagal na nga tayo nawala sa bahay, di ba? Pagdating sa bahay, inuwi pa natin. So, if I try to bring work, I'll try my best na hindi nila makikita. Okay? Or I wake up early in the morning, I work while they're sleeping. Para lang hindi sila feeling, kasi if you keep on doing that, isipin nila mas importante yung work over you. Okay? And, gentlemen, if your wife calls you in the office, or your kid, kahit sino kausap mo, sir, anak ko lang, excuse. Diba? Ay, mahal. Diba? So, bigyan mo ng priority. So they know you are always accessible. Even if you're meeting with a client or engaged in the office, you will always pick up that call for them. Hindi yung, anak, mamaya na, busy pa ako. So imagine how they will feel, di ba? So, gentlemen, fathers, mothers, always feel the love tank of your kids, but more importantly, the love tank of your partners. Okay? Sino dito full tank ang love tank? Full tank? Parang konti na nga. Okay, di ko na tatanungin. So, gentlemen, ladies, you know your job. You need to fill up the love tank of your partners every single day. Okay? Hindi lang sa anak. Kasi if you keep on filling the love tank of your kids, makikita ng husband, ay naku, buti pa yung anak ko. Diba? That's why, click na click yung mga aso and pusa, diba? Kasi pagdating mo ba sa bahay, tumatulog ng aso. Diba? Yung aso, diba? Kahit anong yan. Diba? Yung asawa mo, ba't ganyan ka lang? Pero yung aso mo, excited na excited, diba? So, your dog will always fill up your love tank. Kahit anong ginawa mo, your dog will always there to fill up your love. So, isipin mo lang, how do I become a dog to my wife? Maging aso tayo, gentlemen. Labas mo yung dila mo pag nakita yung asawa daw, di ba? Okay. Next slide. So, sometimes to sustain, to talk, so we always take time off from the kids. Dati, every time we go out, sasama namin yung mga anak. But I noticed, si Alma will feel bad. Sama namin yung anak, kasama ko na yung buong araw. So, we make it a point, kahit twice a month, lalabas kami dalawa. Kahit ano na, taho, simple dates, maano kami, practical kami, hahanap kami magandang lugar, pero kape lang pala, yung mga o 150 na kape, okay na yun, di ba? Para lang magkwentuhan, picture-picture, di ba? So, we go out on a lot of dates. Ngayon nga, nakatakas kami sa mga anak namin, saan tayo date? So, maghahanap kami dito sa San Jose del Monte. So, anyway, so, we find time to be together. Okay? So, kailangan, gentlemen, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung time natin. So, when we give importance to our partner, alam mo, our kids see that also eh. Dad, date nyo naman kami. Kasi nahihigit sila na nagde-date kami. Okay, so sometimes also we find time for each one of them. So kailangan din yung kids natin, let's give them time. Okay? Next slide. Di ba sabi ko, we need to train. So when you train, how do you train? How do you learn? Seminars, kung meron, yung mga talks na ganito, sharing, di ba? You can read books, pero minsan, hirap magbasa ng book, di ba? You can go to YouTube. YouTube will read the book for you. YouTube will even summarize the book for you. YouTube will even show you pictures, drawings, okay? Yung isang libro, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. So, what's 8 minutes to learn to become the best husband or best wife? So, I recommend these books. Number one, The Power of a Praying Parent. It guides you on every stage of your kid, from toddler all the way to become an adult. How to pray for the best partner for your kids. Remember, they will get married one day. Or how to guide him to the right career. Very powerful book. Power of a Praying Parent. Meron ding ano yan, Power of a Praying Husband. Husband, you need to pray for your wives when they're asleep. Wives, you need to pray husband when they're asleep also, or they're at work. Pray for them. It's one of the loving things you can do for your partner by praying for them. Okay? Maganda yan kasi how to pray for your husband kung galit ka, how to pray for your husband pag jealous ka, nandun lahat. Okay? So, you can read the book chapter per chapter, very easy read by Stormy Omarshan. And then, ito, pag gusto nyo seryoso talaga, love and respect. Okay? Because in that book, it teaches you, gentlemen, ang job nyo is to love your wife. Wives, you respect the husband. If husbands will keep on loving their wife, the wives will give back respect. So, there will be a good balance. Pag kulang yung love, nako, sigurado yung respeto mababawasan. So, it has to be that vicious cycle. Keep loving your wife, and then the respect will be there. Kasi mga lalaki, parang yun ang need namin, respect. So, very good book. Half of the chapters for women, half of the chapters for men. Hindi ko ma-share lahat, but I want to encourage you, find time to learn, okay? You want to become the best basketball player, you have to train, do free throws every day. Ganon din to becoming a best husband, best father, best mom, best wife. Okay? So, let's move on. So, kanina, there's so many aspects of parenting. Kanina, I talk about modeling. You have to model the love by being the best husband and best wife. So, do you agree? We have to be the best husband and best wife? Yes. I hope you will be inspired by that. Okay? Medyo ibang approach siya, di ba? So, wag muna tayo mag-aim to be the best father and best mother. Let's aim to be the best husband and wife muna. Kasi dun yung partnership eh. The two of you will be training, will be modeling to your kids. Hindi nyo ma-model yan pag kayong dalawa, hindi kayo synchronize or you don't show love to one another. Diba? Okay? Now, let's go to time. Okay, what is time to the kids? Okay. Next slide now. So, to a child, their concept of love is spelled T-I-M-E. Okay. I'm sure you heard this quotation, diba? Time talaga. People say quality time, but ako, it has to be quantity and quality time. Okay? Kasi we have to be present always in important things in our kids' lives. Okay, that's why as much as possible, weekends, kung kaya natin, let's reserve it for the family. Weekends, after work, family. Alam, so that they will have that concept na, okay, si daddy talagang Saturday and Sunday, bahay lang yan. Okay, lahat ng gusto ko puntahan, sasamahan ako ni daddy. Okay, or ni mommy. Okay? Kasi when they grow up, yun din ang gagawin nila. I'm sure some of the things you did when you were young, you're doing it now to your families, di ba? Na dapat pag lunch on a Sunday, kompleto, di ba? Mga ganun, tinutuloy nyo yan. It's a tradition. Cook meals, dahil mahilig, the mom of Alma cooks well. Ako, mahilig ako magluto. Pati sila, especially my daughter, nakuha niya yung cooking. So we look at the recipe in YouTube, gagawin namin yung recipe, masarap, okay ba? So mag-a-attempt kami. Okay, aside from that, next, have special meals, pizza or whatever. Next slide. Then my daughter developed a passion for baking. One time she tried a cookie, it was so sweet. She kept attempting to replicate the recipe of the cookie. So during the pandemic, benta-benta siya. So parang, kasi nahawa lang. Okay, so very important yung modeling and spending time with them. Kasi when I cook, nanonood sila, then they enjoy the food. So parang they want to do it also. Next slide. And then, we have this spur of the moment. One time, pumunta lang kami ng Manawag, and then sabi na, akyat tayo sa Baguio. O, gano'n. Okay. Punta tayo sa beach. Walang plano-plano. Okay? So sometimes, na-excite sila sa mga ganyan, we surprise them. Okay? So that becomes part of their permanent memory. Okay, next slide. And then, this one very important. Every time there's Holy Week, wala silang choice. Pag Holy Week, sige, we will have no gadget time. We would watch, alam mo the movies these days kasi ang hirap eh. Medyo iba yung values that they show. But there are very good movies made by Christian directors, Christian producers, okay? This movie, Breakthrough, was produced by Steph Curry. You know, Steph Curry is a Christian, di ba? He produced that movie, Breakthrough. It teaches a lot about good values. What's this? Facing the Giants. Okay? Madami, no? The Case for Christ. Look for it. It's in YouTube, even in Netflix. Let your kids watch these movies. After they watch the movies, ask them questions. Anak, anong key takeaway lessons mo? How do we apply that in your school, with your friends? Diba? Para may learning session kayo. Okay? Kasi sometimes we have to be intentional with them. When we spend time with your kids, it's also an opportunity to teach a lesson. Anak, anong may nakita kaming galit sa kalye, o anak, anong learning so dyan? Mahirap pala dati pag galit sa kalye, kailangan cool lang, give way, okay. So, and then we take them on dates. One time I had a event I was invited to go to Davao. I brought my daughter with me, and she could not forget that first time nakakain ng durian. We rode a bus. Okay, we did a 5-hour trip, spur of the moment. So, yung mga hindi niyo makalimutan. So, take them to adventures. Tsaka natutuwa sila pag sila lang mag-isa kasi they feel very important. Wala silang kaagaw sa pagkain. Wala silang kaagaw sa attention. Ikaw lang talaga. Okay? So, always find time. Do your best to do one-on-one dates. Okay? And then, kung may chance, kung may mga promo, we do a staycation. So, they like that. So, yun, Bartolina sa room. Oh, wala mo ng gadgets, ha? So, we would play blind monster in the room. Magba-blindfold ako, hanapin ko sila. So, we do a lot of plays. Okay? Next. And this is important. Kasi malalaki na sila eh. So, every day, after dinner, we do a family devotion. We just read a short story. Okay? There's an app called The Daily Bread. Download The Daily Bread. There's a short story. 2 paragraphs lang. Okay? 2 paragraphs. Story about a firefighter, lost his family, but he persevered. Blah, blah, blah. And then, i-relate niya anong lesson ni God. And then there are questions. Oh, anak, did you ever encounter a struggle in school? Kasi, most of us, dati, ang anak na, oh anak, kamusta school? Okay lang. O kamusta teacher? Okay lang. Kamusta assignment? Okay lang. Puro okay lang. But if you ask them these questions, what struggles do you have in school? Okay? Do you have somebody that you have a difficult relationship with? Diba? Mas masasagot nila. And then you discover your child. Okay? Who knows? Baka binubuli pala sila. You don't know. Kasi they'll just keep quiet. So it's very important to have that parang learning time na kayo lang sa family. Sharing. It's a sharing time. You ask them questions. Okay? What are you grateful for this week? Diba? Yung mga what's the best thing that happened today? Instead of saying, kamusta? Kasi sigurado yan, okay lang. Okay? Okay. So, next slide. This is my last slide. I just want to leave you with this. So, again, love is a verb. It's the best thing that minsan kasi when as a father or as a mother, ang aim natin is we have to send our kids to the best school. Diba? Dapat mag-abroad sila, mag-ganon. Yun ang dreams natin eh. But really, pwede naman yun eh. But before that, our goal, this is, based on experience. Ang suggestion lang to ha. Ang suggestion ko, sana ang goal natin is, we have to be the best lover. We have to showcase the love of God to our kids by starting by being the best husband and the best wife. Otherwise, yung legacy mo, sending them to the best school or remember, minsan kasi, we say, padala natin sila dyan sa Christian school para maging mabait. Hindi. All their values are formed at home. And guess what? Where do they learn all bad manners? Where do they learn it? In school, di ba? Sa mga kaklase. Di ba? I mean, nothing again, it's not the school, but it's the people you are with. Kasi they'll spend 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours in school. Sa bahay, 2 hours na lang. Pagod na, tulog. But really, while they're young, you start influencing them at home. Build a strong foundation. That's why I like the topic that you assigned to me. You have to strengthen the relationship. Pag malakas yung relationship ninyo, then you can influence them. Tama? Okay, so remember this, love is a verb. Love is the sacrifices you make, the commitment, the choices you make. It's never a feeling, okay? If you want to study love, you study those who sacrifice for others. Okay, one is Jesus Christ. He showed the greatest love to everyone, okay? And the feeling, once you show love, the feeling of peace, love, joy, faith, harmony will follow. I guarantee you. Okay? We will not survive 25 years if we did not. Just this morning, dumaan kami ng isang office mate namin. He couldn't walk eh. Since taga-Kamarin siya, medyo dumaan muna kami. And they were 39 years married, so I asked the wife, Sabi ko, Ma'am, paano kayo tumagal kay Manong Viper, 39 years ka? Wala, ano na kami, palagi kami nagjo-joke, nagkukwento. Kasi wala, yung mga anak nila, wala na sa bahay nila. So, they're still enjoying each other's company. Okay? By, by being there for each other, by showing love, and especially na hindi na makalakad yung friend namin, the wife is showing, sacrificial love by helping him go up, di ba? Nilulutuan siya. So, the more nagsistrengthen yung marriage. So, gentlemen, we must be the best lover. Yan. And then, wives, support your husband. Do we still have 10 minutes? It's okay. So, I don't want to talk for the whole time. I want to hear questions from you. I'm sure pag may questions kayo, please feel free to ask me questions. I brought my wife here with me. So, this is Alma. Okay. Ano po siya? 3 years elder na ako sa kanya. So, hindi siya 30 years old. Pag kayo magpa-fake. Okay. So, we want to ask the audience, do you have any questions? Q&A lang tayo, if it's okay. Q&A. Anyone? Please ask us questions.
Kami mag-ask ng question pag alam.
Anyone po who would like to ask
Yung mga
questions?
nasa likod, baby, puntahan mo nga. Yung mga lalaki doon, parang may gusto magtanong mo, hindi na makaano.
Lapitan mo.
Yung nasa likod, gusto magtanong, tulungan mo, kawawa naman.
So, dati, sabi nga ni Johnny na mamalo, di ba? Dati yung pamalo ko pa. Since hindi pa kami Christian noon, yung typical na natutunan natin sa parents, sabi nga ni Johnny sa dati niya, ako naman sa parents ko, yung pamalo. Alam mo yung tsinelas na eyelander? Ganun yung pagpalo ko. Pagpalo ko sa daughter ko, pag ganun ko, kasi nainis na nga ako, dahil dami lang ginagawa. Pagpalo ko ganun, pagkita ko naglatay sa legs niya, yung eyelander, yung guhit-guhit. Sabi ko, oh no, lagot ako pinakita to ng tatay niya, lagot ako pag sinumbong ako. And aside doon, nung nakita ko yung face ng daughter ko, parang na-guilty ako, na parang, why are you doing this to me? Parang nag-guilty ako na gano'n, na parang, oh no, parang ganyan. So ngayon, ang natutunan ko nga, kaka-attend din ng parenting seminar, is yung, pag nagagalit ka, you pause. Huwag ka muna mag-react. Kasi once na nag-react ka kagad, tendency, galit ka kagad. Kung ano yung makawakan mo, kaampas mo. Or may masasabi ka. So, yun muna, pause. Pag ano ka muna, pag nakita mo nagagalit ka na, magbilang mo na 1 to 10. Then you pray, God, please help me. Yun. Teach me what to say, not to say. Ganun siya. Pero as much as possible, huwag kayong mamamalo. Huwag niyo akong gagayan. Sleepers, no. Like sabi ng husband ko, belt, no then. Kasi yung belt, sinusuot natin yan, di ba? So it's something na gamit sa, nag-stick sa katawan natin. So, better siguro yung stick, or kaya kung applicable pa ba yung face the wall, yun, face the wall talaga, para ano muna sila. Thank you.
Or you ground them. You can also ground them. Okay, because you did something, you cannot go out. No gadget for 1 day. Ganyan. Pwede nyo rin or i-off yung internet switch. Yes. Over there. Babae naman.
Ako na.
Ay, yes, ma'am.
Paano natin i-discipline yung paggamit ng gadget, especially cellphone sa bata? Like for example, ako kasi nagsiset kami ng time.
Yes.
Like, 9 lang. 9. Ilalagay mo sa table namin. Pero syempre, nag-ano siya, nag-react. So we always have this parang argument na, ang aga-aga pa naman, yung mga classmate ko hanggang ganito. So nag-end up na ang sagot ko, classmate mo sila, iba tayo. Or nag-end up na nagagalit siya. And then sasabihin ko, hate me now, thank me later. That's it. Kasi ayoko na ng argument. So, ayun. Pero syempre, baka mamaya nagde-develop na, nagagalit sa akin.
Anong age mo?
14.
14. Okay. So actually, what you're doing is what we would recommend. Talagang you set a time and expect them to be angry, okay? To be reluctant. They will really resist that kasi they don't see it as you taking away the gadget, but you take away time with the friends. Yes, you explain to them na gano'n, di ba?
Pero, tama ba? Pero after, before naman namin i-impose, we always like, sasabihin namin, kung magagalit ka because we're doing it, it's up to you. Pero ginagawa namin to, hindi para inisin ka, or dahil ayaw lang namin ikaw ipagamit. But, it's for you.
Okay, so we encountered that also. So para walang mag-complain, all of us, we would put our cell phones in the table by kami 10 o'clock. Lahat table. Pero pag tulog na sila, kukunin namin yung cellphone. So para lang, we tell, kami rin, para walang para you can sleep. So what we tell them is, 9 o'clock, para tulog, para there's no time, or read a book. When they were young, okay, before you sleep 1 hour, you read a book. No, it's not super strict. Basta kailangan mong bawiin yung love language. Kasi remember, when you do that, you're depleting their love tank, di ba? So in the morning, bawi ka, cook them good breakfast, give them a hug. Okay. Yes. Bawal mag-lock ng doors. Really. Yes. Basta bawi ka lang, love language, fill up their love tank.
Actually, dapat consistent ka talaga. At first talaga, actually hindi at first, hanggang sa dulo, mahirap na. Everyday struggle siya talaga. As in, kontrabida ka. And then marami silang reason na sasabihin mo 9 o'clock, pero I don't know kung dito po ba Cisco may group works. So sasabihin, hindi pa, yung isang group hindi pa nabibigay. So mag-extend sila to 9 o'clock. Pero ako, pag ganyan, pag sinabi nilang group work, kasi nga since bawal lang, bawal i-lock ang door. Saka before kasi meron silang study table na nasa sala namin. So, paglabas ko ng room, nakikita ko talaga na nag-aaral talaga sila. So, yun nga, mga dahilan nila kasi hindi pa nagsabit yung isa, ganyan. So, kailangan mag-ano ka din, tawag dito, maging ano ka din ba? Sensitive, magbigay ka rin ng leeway sa kanila. Makita mo na talaga. Yeah.
And actually, if they see that you're happy and you're thanking them, anak, thank you for following me kagabi. Keep on thanking them.
Yeah.
When they see that you're happy, sige na, kasi if I do this, mom is happy.
Saka ako
At the
parang,
very least, they'll do that. Diba?
saka ako parang police nun. Pag sinabi mo, 9 o'clock, hindi ka pa tapos. O sige, ilang oras? 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour. O sige, 10 o'clock lalabas ulit ako sa all-check. So, kailangan consistent na, huwag kang bibigay. Kasi
Medyo police mode muna tayo.
Napapagod talaga, nakakapagod since tatlo pa yung kids ko. And then, kailangan consistent ka. Kasi nakita nila na nag-bend ka ng rules, talo tayo. And yun nga. Anyway.
We hope we answered. Or one thing also now, as parents, we have to teach them how to love the Lord. Okay? If they love the Lord, they will value the obey your parents rule, the submission to authority. Especially if you bring them to mga youth camps, once they alam nila yung if they have a relationship with God, it will be very it will not be that difficult to impose mga ganong rules na mahirap for them. Kasi mangingibabaw yung obey your parents, submit to the authority of your parents. Sige na, they're my mom and dad. Sabi ni mami, sige. In my part, I didn't want to say sorry, but my dad said, you have to say sorry. Di ba minsan, go with me. Ayoko dad, samahan mo ako. But eventually, they'll enjoy it. Basta keep on appreciating what they did. Parang say, thank you for doing it. I know you don't want to do it, but you made me happy. You followed me. You respected me. Siguro, tell them the impact to you. You respected me. I know you don't want to do it. But siguro, try lang natin. You have to strategize. You know your son or daughter better than us. So, find a way. You have to build that relationship.
Pag project yan, pag group project, at the next day or after 2 days, kamustahin mo, kamusta yung group project nyo, yung pinagbuyatan nyo. Magigilty yan sila. Anyway, next day.
Good morning. I just want to ask, how can you strengthen a relationship when one is physically absent? It's like because of work, nature of work, And at the same time, when we're talking about modeling, syempre kung absent na physically absent yung partner, how can they model it? And then the time. So yun po yung parang paano may isasuggest. Thank you.
When you say absent po yung as in abroad or lang?
Because of work.
Work lang talaga. Okay. Parang siya yun. Hindi. One is, first, kung yung husband or yung wife yung absent, parating na sa work, make sure na wag mong sisiraan yung husband mo or yung wife mo. Yeah? Explain mo na kaya nandun yung nature of work ng husband or ng wife, ganun talaga, na kinakain yung time sa family. And then at the same time, pag na-explain mo sa anak mo yon, make sure din na-explain mo din sa partner mo na medyo napapahaba kayo Monday to Friday mo, overtime ka na overtime. You make sure naman sana Saturday and Sunday, or at least Sunday man lang, makistay ka sa amin. Or if ever man lang, especially yung mga nasa medical something, kahit Saturday, Sunday may pasok, at least 2 hours lang siya. Quality time talaga, yun siya.
Is the partner present naman pag Sundays? Or even weekends, mahirap? Okay, we have a friend, okay, she grew up without a dad, but she grew up okay, kasi the mom had to fulfill the dual role of being a mom and dad. So it becomes really very challenging, but it's possible. Okay? If you build that strong relationship by being the mother and father, you become this disciplinarian and loving mom, and ang love mo will have to be direct to the child. How you take care of them, how you raise them up, how you spend time. So very challenging po yan. But it's possible. We've seen some friends who grew up with single mom and single dads. Pero grabe ang work. Very challenging for the mom or for the dad, whoever is the single one. Okay? Sometimes you would probably need the help of your grandparents. Diba? Minsan pag weekend, maybe bring them to the grandparents para nakaka-interact sila ng ibang tao or their cousins or ano. Basta you fill up their love tank. Okay? Lahat yan may love tank. If you fill up that love tank, they will respond positively to you. Pag hindi mo na fill up yan, magluloko. So very challenging. And then of course, you pray for it. You pray for it, pray for guidance. Get the book, Power of a Praying Parent.